Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, as I, your ever humble Omega, and today, some first impressions. Today we're going to be looking at a game called Brawl, which bills itself as a, quote, 2D action strategy game with big explosions and destructible terrain. This is literally the quote off the website. This is a game that is very much in the vein of games like Worms, games like Mayan Death Robots, which released recently. If you have not seen Jesse Cox and Credor's playthrough of that, I would recommend going to do so because it's very good. It's very entertaining, very high class. So who made Brawl? Well, interesting little bit of a story behind it. It was developed by Turtle Sandbox Games, a two-person team, which appears to have outsourced a few aspects of the game's development to some various sort of just some artwork, some basic music, you know, stuff that you would not really have to deal with yourself. Most of the coding, programming was done by the two-person team. This game was actually the winner of Activision's 2011 indie game competition, originally titled Destroyed, and that was actually where the company got its start from this game. So this is technically their first go into the indie game scene. They were most gracious enough to actually approach Team DawnLight and bring us the game, and of course I would gladly do a video about it. So let's go ahead and take a look at the options menu before we go into anything. You'll notice apparent from the outset that I am not using a mouse at all, just because the game does not support mouse control. I'll forgive it for a reason that I'll come on to soon enough. So we have a pretty basic options menu. It's not really advanced, but it has an old graphics card mode. Not really sure what that's for. I assume for graphics software, which is below maybe the current 600 or 700 series. It's hard to say. I have it turned off innately because that's just the default the way it came. Separate sound effect and music sliders, very good. Always want separate sets of those. Multiplayer stats can be turned on and off or set to different settings. That's good. Now the game actually does have gamepad support and also supports keyboard play. Now I've tried both, and at present I would say that the game is definitely better suited to the pad. You have much more fluid control because of the way that the analog sticks work, and the game is very much about speed, so it factors in a good deal. But you're still equally capable with the keyboard by itself, and I will personally be playing with the keyboard because my pad is currently getting repaired, so we'll just avoid that entirely. But you also have the option to configure your keys, which is also very good. A lot of indie games skip this, so props to you, Turtle Sandbox. You're already doing better than most. So what do we have in terms of game modes? So we have an adventure mode, which is basically the campaign mode. You go from place to place to place in a sort of Super Mario World-esque movement system of the different positions that you can go to, although you can actually kind of fly around the map freeform. It's a little bit interesting. You also have what is effectively the skirmish mode, Battle versus AI, where you can fight an AI of varying difficulties and test your might, basically, on different maps. And then you have multiplayer, which, if we get into it, actually has ranked leaderboards, unranked leaderboards. You can challenge your own friends, and you can play locally. Now, there aren't a lot of people playing in the multiplayer because at the time we're recording, of course, there just aren't that many people playing it. I got a pre-release copy, again, very graciously of the Doves. So, I haven't been able to try it out extensively. I did a little bit of local multiplayer with a friend. It's actually really fun. It's very fast-paced, very hectic. It requires a lot of skill. It will cause a little bit of rage here and there, but other than that, it shouldn't really ruin any friendships. So let's get back into the campaign mode. Now, I haven't progressed that far, of course, because I am still trying to do this first impressions. So, as you can see, the map kind of flows in the little dots level style that is very similar, reminiscent of the Super Mario World style. You can basically go to different missions which have different ratings for your victory. Basically, one you'll pretty much always get actions per minute, which is kind of interesting. It actually charts the amount of actions per minute that you were taking and the speed at which you complete the level. And it's all very important because speed is a very, very heavy factor on this game, and you'll see here in a second. Yes, of course. So you can pick your pilot from the start. I currently have access to 3, or I could randomize if I want to. I do not want to. I'm going to pick the Princess. Each of these different airships which they provide you with will have a different bonus to them. Now, currently I've unlocked several different towers beyond the initial 5 that you can have, but you can have any combination of 5 towers that you want in order to progress through the level. You pretty much always need some kind of mining camp, some kind of turret, and then you can pick what else you want for basic structures. Now, I don't know what that little grab thing you'll notice off to the right there is. That is a new tower I've never seen before, but we're about to figure that out. So I'll just take what I've got right here. And if you're not ready, of course, you can go back. There's usually these little intro cutscenes with a little bit of flavor text. Nothing I really concern myself with too much, but I tend not to read them anyway. The story's not that important, so you won't really have to worry about it. Alright, Blah, blah, blah. Missile turrets. Yes, I have one. Alright, so the basic mission has pretty much always been destroy the enemy HQ. That hasn't changed. So let's get right into it. So as you can see, speed is very, very important. You need to have speed and time, and you'll mostly be juggling the cooldown timers on your buildings in order to use your different structures and prepare yourself. So, as you can see from the outset, you have access to weaponry, and you also have access to upgrades for that weaponry, which will make the weaponry more powerful. The weaponry turrets, I should say. Additionally, you can expand your influence with these balloons, which you will need to do, as you can see, to capture different mining camps in order to produce minerals. And from here, it's basically a rush to see who can down the other fortress faster. Now, these diamond camps that you see here, or these diamonds, rather, that I will soon put a camp on, will allow you to... You can think of them as the gold minerals from StarCraft. You get a lot more resources much more faster if you secure them, and they're very vital to hold on to ensure that you actually get somewhere in the mission. The other thing to keep in mind is that you're probably going to be juggling between when to build stuff and when to upgrade stuff, which is kind of one of the more important factors in addition to keeping up your cooldowns and keeping maximum uptime on all your buildings, which is very, very important, as you can see. If you don't maximize your uptime on everything, you're basically leaving your stuff static and it pulls down on your APM. Unfortunately, because I'm having to commentate, it's already pulling down on my APM a little bit, so not doing as terribly well as I usually do. Alright, that requires 95, we're gonna wait. There we go. Alright, so let's upgrade this to max, make this even more efficient. Boom! Alright, now that we've cleared out a lot of this, I think I'm gonna move an influence balloon down there. I know they have a proper name, I can't think of it right now, so I'm just putting influence balloon. And we'll destroy his, if we can. Alright, let's see here. There we go. So this is the gist of the game. You go back and forth destroying structures, capturing terrain, and basically trying to destroy your enemy's base before too long and they get too many resources. Now, you cannot upgrade, unfortunately, those mining camps. They're pretty much always statically set to do the amount that they're going to do. But you can upgrade pretty much everything else. The missile turret I only recently acquired and is actually one of my favorite just because of the sort of area of effect that you have access to as a result of that. You're also seeing I'm actually not playing that well because I have a lot of money sitting around. Generally, you don't want to have too much money sitting around. You want to be expending money as fast as you can, kind of the same way that you don't want cooldown sitting around, because if you do, that's just, you know, unused resources that you could be doing something with. And you will basically move back and forth trying to destroy the enemy's base. So the game's actually very simple, its mechanics are very simplistic, but it is very heavily reliant on strategy and speed, and I'll show you why. Strategy, because, as you might have noticed before, the terrain is destructible, but, in addition to that, buildings will take fall damage as they fall onto terrain. So if you destroy articles of terrain and then a building falls from it, say if the enemy were to destroy this area right here where my airship is, they could cause all of these buildings to come crashing down and just be destroyed instantly. Which would suck for me, because then I would lose all of that money generating system that I have right there. Now fortunately, the enemy's not doing so hot because the enemies in this basic mode are pretty weak, all things considered. That's my shield generator. Let's pump down another missile turret right there. Plunk. So the enemies in the campaign mode are generally not that tough, and the missile turret is really strong, so this might not be the best example of what you can expect. But even then, you get a basic feel for what's going on here. Now, some of you might be suggesting from the basic art style and the way that this plays, was this a mobile game before? And actually, I looked into it. This was at no point a mobile game, which is very interesting because it has a lot of the draws of mobile games. It has some of the mechanics that would be indicative of a mobile game, but it isn't, which I found pretty interesting just kind of looking at it. It has a very... maybe this would be improper of me to say, but it seems like it has a very mobile game aesthetic to it, maybe. It kind of feels like the thing that would expect you to dump 50,000 whatever on to expedite some mining project. Now, this is a little thing I should express really quick here. So, for the completion of specific missions and specific meta objectives that you can complete, you will get experience, which will not only level you up, which is important to unlocking specific characters and specific turrets that you can get, but it's also integral for giving you the option to unlock even more turrets and characters from the armory. So the armory will allow you to access these very specific locked things, which are not... Fortunately, they aren't directly better than anything you can pick up, aside from maybe the fortified mine, which I'm going to buy real quick, because it is technically better. But most of them are side grades, which I actually find pretty nice, all things considered. Pretty much all the different pilots that you can get, even though they are different prices, are all side grades of one another, which is very good. There's no, like, pay-to-win model of this, or rather, just play-to-win. And pay your life away to win, I guess is the best way to phrase it. Alright, so let's see here. The repair turret might be useful. I'm not really intent on that. The missile turret is serving me very well, so let's pick up that. Fortified mine. Yeah, I'll pick up that. Alright, there we go. So let's get into it again. Dialogue exchanges, blah blah blah. Is that a laser turret? Ooh, there's another new turret. Alright, so let's get right into this. So, we need to start building our mine right here. Let's go into that. I probably should have built that on the diamond mine first. So you notice I'm moving very quick through this. A lot of it's based on APM, so if you're a professional oh my god, that's powerful. Oh, okay, I thought that actually slammed into my building. Jeez. Alright, so if you're a professional StarCraft player, you probably get the gist of this right now. It's very APM heavy. If you're good with APM, if you're good at moving around, if you're good at remembering stuff, you'll have an easy time of it. Oh man, this is gonna wreck me. Jesus. Wreck-It Ralph. Okay. Oh! Okay, I canceled it. So, yeah, very heavily reliant on some pretty big factors. Alright, I'm gonna upgrade the shielding a little bit. Alright. Let's also get into this. I can't build a missile turret yet. Alright, I'm gonna build a basic turret. Plonk it down right there. Plonk! I should probably try to expand my influence upwards, but I'm having a hard time of it right now. Oh, come on. Okay, so they can puncture through the shielding, but it takes them a little bit more effort than the standard than it would otherwise. So we're gonna try and hit them a little bit. Alright, reposition that. Oh man, this is gonna hurt. Oh! Oh, that hurt. Okay, alright, we need to expand the influence upwards. And see if I can put this to good use. Destroy that, maybe. Okay, so we took out a building there. We got our advanced mines going. Can I put one? No. Okay, so I'm gonna have to put it probably right about there. I don't want to, though. Alright, so we're gonna try to take that out. So now you can see an example of the fall damage at work. See, the fall damage is very powerful. Alright, we're gonna repair that before it can take any more damage and plunk down another force field, upgrade it to be at maximum strength, and then we're gonna take these missiles and try to deal some damage with them. That's probably not gonna hit anything. Yeah, no, it blocked it pretty handily. Alright, so with that out of the way, we can focus their big mine up there. Yeah, there we go. Got a nice hit on that. Alright, and, I should probably get another turret and drop it down right about here and try to take out their influence balloon. I probably should have put that a little bit closer. Oh well, we'll worry about it later. Alright, let's fire off these missiles. Good way to get rid of the shield. Get some nice hits in. Fire off this. Take out their missile turret, or laser turret rather, and plunk down another shield. Alright. Let's upgrade this. Alright, I might be able to hit that balloon. I think I can. Alright, I got it. Alright, so their influence down there is gone, which means I can take this right up here and plonk it down. Boop. Alright, which means I can also take out their influence balloon there and make them take some pretty hefty hits for that. Alright, then. Now we're going to try and hit their missile turret over there, deal a little bit more damage, go back over to here. Boom. And now we're going to try to repair that turret again. So yeah, it's very, very hectic, and it requires a good bit of strategy in your placement, and a good bit of strategy in when you upgrade and how you choose to upgrade. Now, presently I have enough to upgrade this to max, so let's go for max cannon right here. I'm going to hit their shield generator a little bit, not extensively. Alright, let's get some shielding out and repair on that. Alright, can't upgrade that yet, but that's not going to work. Alright, well, that's going to hit it from behind, but can fire over this and see if we can do some damage on the other side. Alright, here in the meantime. Alright, we took... There. It's hard to commentate this, it's very hectic. Alright. Fire. Block, 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 block. It's also reflected by the shield, which is pretty good. Alright, let's see if we can kill it. Can we get it? Yeah, alright, we got it. Alright, so that's down. Now, the next thing to probably build would be another shield generator right there, just as a secondary measure of precaution. Buff that up. Boop. Alright, so that's protected, and now we can go and pop into here real quick and see if we can do something about that mine. Can we kill it? Yes, we can. Alright, sweet. Now we're going to go up here, upgrade this a final time. Now we can get a good shot on that mine over there, I think. Yes? Yes. Alright, we got it. Alright, cool. So with that done, I can now upgrade this turret and fire on their missiles, or rather their shields. Now I can get another shot on their shields. Let's see, can I get it? Can I get it? Can I get it? Yes! Oh, but I didn't kill it. Alright. Alright, so we're gonna get this, put up another shield right there, and I think... Ah, that didn't take it down. Alright. Acceptable losses, acceptable losses. Alright, so we're gonna fire another volley of missiles, rather, up here. Which is pretty much, yeah, gonna take that out entirely. And we're gonna fire right over that, so that shield's not even gonna be a factor. Boop, boop, boop. And we're gonna fire another shot right over the shielding. Should be able to take it out, and... Nope. Oh, we didn't hit anything. That's a shame. Okay. Oh, but I might be able to take it out this way. Nope. Wow. My placement's terrible. Okay. They've got pretty much nothing but shielding at this point, so I'm just gonna go for some direct fire off this way. Yep. Alright, and we're gonna fire that over the hill. Over the... line, rather. Fire that there. Alright, their repair shield is down, or repair device, rather, is down, which means that they will no longer be repairing their structures. At least for the most part, anyway. Let's hope. Alright, that failed, but we can take them out like that. Oh, and that one falls to the ground once more, and we can take that one out with a direct hit. Alrighty. Now, all that's left of them is pretty much what's just at the base, so a few more hits, and they'll be done. So there's still a shield generator up. Not super concerned about that. Let's take it out one more hit. There we go. Come back up here. Boom goes the dynamite. Fire off this. Get another shot off. So yeah, it's pretty much just jumping in between turrets, expanding your influence, and picking up gold where you can. Now you'll notice I'm not kind of macro managing at this point, which I kind of should. If you're a StarCraft player, you should know how to do that. If you're a regular person, it means controlling my base on all ends on a bigger level than just these individual turrets. I'm not trying to expand my influence, I'm not trying to get money, and that would be kind of the important factors that you would have to deal with if you were playing this game in multiplayer. You would have to be considering the general amount of influence that your opponent has, you'd have to be considering the amount of bases they have, where you could hit them pretty strategically, where you could be making their stuff fall, where you could be building new turrets, and I'm not really doing that. I'm just focusing on keeping the stuff I have up, maintained, and boom, they're down. So the game is actually fairly simplistic. Alright, and we just unlocked the laser tower. Cool beans. If it looks like something you'd be interested in, it's a pretty good game for the price. There are a lot of aspects that would increase the replayability of the game for you, especially considering that there are challenge modes on the map, which are pretty challenging and require you to understand the use of your proper turrets. There's a lot to unlock, as you can see. There's plenty of turrets to unlock, there's plenty of people to unlock, and there's of course even more unlocks when you factor in the XP unlocks, which it takes a good amount of time to get any of these XP unlocks. I mean, as you can see, I spent about 500. I still only have another 100 in reserve, so the fastest way to farm up XP is to go into the Battle vs. AI skirmishes or the multiplayer play. That's the best way you're going to get experience. But for a little $15 game, and especially for the first game coming out of a studio, it's very capable, it's very competent. I'm not going to say I love it, and that's mostly down to my bias. I'm not a big fan of strategy games, I never have been. You can ask anyone I know if you've been on the channel. I don't like strategy games, I never have, but even this I can kind of get into because it's a light strategy game. It requires a little bit of thought, it requires a little bit of pre-planning, but a lot of it is about the speed, and I kind of like that. It's about your ability to react to your opponent, to play off them pretty well, and that's fun. And of course, if you like strategy games, especially real-time ones, you'll enjoy this incredibly. If you don't, you might have a little bit harder time justifying the price of $15, which it is currently on Steam. It'll be releasing the day this video comes up, so it'll probably already be out by the time you see this. Honestly, give it a look. I think you'll probably have a decent amount of fun with it, even if it's not really your thing. My name's been Omega. See you next time.